Hello, everyone. Welcome back to It's a Progressive World. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam, and we're back with a midweek edition of It's a Progressive World, which we don't do that often. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Sam, we got timestamps down below, and please like and subscribe. And yeah, get us started.
Sure. So first, we're going to talk about the recent developments in global economy with the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank, and then we're going to move on to the recent developments in geopolitics, mostly in Asia, the AUKUS deal, and the recent Chinese diplomatic maneuvers in Middle East, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Jesse Ventura's recent interview on Kim Iversen and just generally a lot of fun characters in the so-called progressive space, let's just say, whatever. Yeah, is that fair? Okay, that's it.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Very good. Yeah, before you get started, just my 2 cents here. I feel like with this AUKUS thing where I heard it, the submarine thing, right? When I heard it like a couple
Mm.
days ago, I felt like we've come full circle because this was one of the stories that we
Yeah,
talked back
from the
in the,
beginning, yeah.
we're just back at it. But yeah, and then I just saw Kim Iversen was on Rumble. Like the Vanguard boys made the funniest comment about Rumble.
Oh,
Later.
well, mm, man, the pleasures they provide for us,
No, yeah.
like I don't think a comedy show has made me laugh this much.
And they've done
Just
so much for us. Did you hear that channel Dissidents do? They they we got brought up. They didn't like people say, oh, they gave you
oh
a shout
no,
out, but oh what? Oh, so you don't read our comments. Wait, you didn't know about this?
I've changed my comment
Uh,
policy, so no, I didn't. But
yeah.
okay, all right,
And we
yeah,
got brought up thanks to the Vanguard because they had seen our video, but they knew about our channel a bit and how we went from Spar and Brawl to It's a Progressive World. Do you know that channel, Dissidents? I think Dissidents do.
no.
No, they're two guys, and I didn't know about it until this either. I think there might be a newer channel than us. And yeah, they at the end they were doing super chats, and the Vanguard people were asking about Vanguard and laughing and all this. And then they mentioned us, how they'd come across our video on
Positively or negative?
and Aaron Mate, positively on that video of Aaron Mate, and how the Vanguard boys had their interview with Aaron Mate, and I think I mentioned, oh, they brought us so many like views and subscribers who knew people hated the Vanguard boys this
It's
much.
I have to say I can't believe like anybody really hating them. They're just
Yeah,
too, you know what
yeah.
I mean? Feels like cartoon characters. Hey,
Especially in this last video of theirs was pretty
oh
interesting.
yeah,
It was like
it's just
exactly perfectly who they are. Like they weren't like rude or shouting or anything like they did with Aaron Mate, but it was more just like their regular
oh
self,
yeah, that
like
was.
their perception of like their role in media and the role of the left and all this and just like politics. It was just hilarious. But yeah, you can't.
Man, I brought up the Silicon Valley thing, the AUKUS deal, and it's just we're obsessed. We
No,
can't let
sorry. That's
go.
that's my new segment, right? I think this has been added to it. You briefly talk for 30 seconds in the beginning, introducing the shows,
No,
and
no,
then I give a 2 minute analysis of everything. Last time I
I
broke down the
I
Iran
love the
Saudi Arabia deal for you. Today I broke down Vanguard. Next time
from the
maybe I'll
Lebanese
teach you some
angle. Very
philosophy.
surprised.
We'll go over the financial crisis
No,
time
no,
after.
I just love that. That's the Vanguard boys are the one thing that stand out of the teas that we want to
Hey,
talk about.
I
That's
mentioned the AUKUS thing. I paid lip service to that.
yeah, exactly. You paid lip service, so yeah. Let's move on.
Honest. But okay, go on.
No, it's just yeah, you're right. Their fantasies about their role in media, and the people are talking about Medicare for Marianne can discuss this on a larger scale. Okay, guys, it's just you guys are great. Do what you do. Anyway, but yeah, shall we just jump into
Please.
the real things? All right, so let's start with the Silicon Valley collapse. I thought perhaps we can play this just 3-minute video because it's a very brief and good explanation for all, I guess, non-economical experts.
A rough week for the banking industry.
Is there sound shared?
Yeah, perfect.
Collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, the second biggest bank collapse in U.S. history.
The Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on March 10 after a run on deposits doomed the tech-focused lenders' plans to raise fresh capital. This prompted US regulators to step in with emergency measures, including seizing another bank 3 days later, in a bid to ease fears that depositors might pull their money from other lenders. WSJ banking reporter Rachel Ensign explains how this crisis unfolded and what could happen next.
During the pandemic, Silicon Valley Bank had gotten all of these deposits. Their deposits tripled. It was a huge, huge, huge influx. And they did what banks do. They took some of the deposits and made loans, but they also invested a lot of them in securities, which are pretty safe. Some issues had been bubbling under the surface at Silicon Valley Bank since the Federal Reserve started raising rates. When rates rose, the bonds fell in value. It's not a big problem for you unless you have to go and sell the bonds. But deposits started leaving the bank faster than they anticipated, and they had to sell their bonds and take a very big loss. The bank made an announcement on Wednesday night that it needed to raise capital and was planning to do that the next day. The investors completely freaked out, sold off the stock, and then a bank run started where people tried to withdraw $42 billion in deposits just in that one day. And by Friday morning, it was seized by regulators. The regulators have responded.
That's the original sort of set of events. And it started with from what I understand, with a crypto bank in New York going under first. And I forget, is it before that or after that, that Peter Thiel apparently was a major, I guess, investor in this bank, or perhaps depositor. I don't know what's the correct term. And then he starts pulling out, and then he spooks all the rest.
No, really? So
pull out their money. Yeah.
He found himself there as well.
Huh? He what?
He found himself in this story as well. I feel like this guy is in like every juicy story, every story. This guy.
Oh yeah, and you know, and it's starting to really affect the market. So the market has started to collapse from yesterday, basically, which is, I mean, collapse is a strong word. They went down. I mean, they went down apparently about the same much as the Russian invasion affected them. Like the Russian invasion of Ukraine affected them.
Yeah.
It had the same sort of effect.
I see.
But you know, and there was a big. It's the depositors of the bank are all, it seems, are safe. It seems that basically they're gonna bail them out, although it's not gonna be a literal bailout, like perhaps by the definition. But did you see the videos I sent you? There was a lot of different takes on the issue.
Yeah, there were a lot of different angles that came in. Like, you know, first I had to wrap my head around the name and everything and understand what kind of bank it is, kinda, and then there was like the crypto aspect. So I mean, honestly,
what is the address of this bank?
Okay, let's start with the basics. What are its opening hours? Okay. 8 to 8, Mondays to Friday, Saturdays half day. Okay.
Who's the manager? Can I meet the manager? Okay, all right.
What color are their cards?
No, but it's great because you see the fault lines. These type of things are great because you see the fault lines within the so-called anti-establishment. So you got the libertarians who are suddenly, a segment of them, at least not all of them, a segment of them are suddenly rabid supporters of government intervention into markets. And you know, it's just people, like David Sachs, the founder of PayPal, was on Heard saying, you know, you don't want to punish these people for making the wrong choices.
That's him. Yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes. You don't want to punish people for making the wrong choices, you know, unless they choose to study, for example, in college or something, in which case they should be fucking punished. But if they choose, like if a cryptocurrency or a VC firm chooses to deposit in a bank that gives you benefits if you deposit there, like loans, which are crazy, which is basically bribery. Basically, they're doing bribery, like legal bribery, you know, daylight.
What
And
is
you know,
that
they
unique
shouldn't
to
be
this
punished.
bank for doing
No,
this?
I think no, I don't think so. I think in America it's possible with a lot of banks and financial institutions, although I am no expert whatsoever, so maybe I am completely wrong. Maybe it was just a unique thing.
I see.
But from what I understand, like depending on the state, the financial instruments they can offer you varies. Even
That would
like
make total sense.
the state, it's quite. Again maybe wrong, but it's so funny because you know you suddenly have libertarians talking about justice and fairness, and they couldn't have made the right choice. They didn't have enough information. Oh, really, David? Really, David?
No, I mean, you know,
That's fascinating to you know. Unlike, you know, for example, medical care, or you know, all you know, that type of thing that you
no,
always
I mean,
have
yeah.
the complete.
Anyone who
Sorry?
presents themselves as a libertarian is just a full-out joke. I mean, if you're like
Oh,
libertarian,
wow,
some
okay.
areas say that, you
Sorry,
know, you can be
I
like, you
didn't.
know, I'm, you know, when it comes to this market or that act or this thing, I'm a libertarian. But like anybody who like introduces anybody who says they're libertarian, like their next 5 sentences are guaranteed to talk about how different levels of government should be involved in doing like different things, you know, because you can't really be a libertarian. Oh yeah, no, in this area, yeah, no police here, of course, yeah, that's needed. Oh yeah,
Well,
government should step in
would
this
say they
instance.
believe in community policing and community
No,
like.
they don't.
Or
I don't even,
I
I've
mean,
never heard
look,
them say
you're
that.
really I was you're so dismissed. It's like I don't even
I don't know,
bother
my
thinking
libertarians
about
are
them,
just like
Sam.
the biggest
Don't
jokes always.
worry.
But then their takes aren't that big of a joke sometimes because they're not libertarian takes. Like they're like, yeah, I'm a libertarian, and then they go on about to
No,
describe like
libertarian.
some
I think
action they
okay,
want
it's a
by government.
spectrum, man.
Yeah, yeah. But
I
what I'm saying is, why
I
don't they
think the
ever
natural.
present themselves on the spectrum exactly? Be like, you know, I consider myself a libertarian, you know, in a lot
No,
of
they
areas.
do. No, none of them
No,
comes out and
no,
says, "I'm a,
no. They say
you
I'm a
know,
libertarian.
hardcore."
Yeah, they. Well, exactly. If you, there's no such thing as
No,
hardcore.
I mean,
You're
come on.
either
No Marxist comes
libertarian
out
if
and
you're
says,
just
"I'm
saying.
the spectrum."
No,
Yeah,
but you can say, you know, I'm a socialist, which means that, you know, some areas you want more government and, you know, community or people control, and some areas less. Yeah. So
I just think I'm not as dismissive as you. I just think the natural conclusion of their arguments are crazy, because the natural conclusion of
or
their
sometimes they're
arguments
not, but they're not
would be
libertarian when they're not crazy. But yeah, when they are libertarian, they're crazy.
no, the natural conclusions of their arguments.
Yeah.
Li-
If they
yeah, I'm talking
make
about
those
libertarians.
arguments, because my point is they often don't make libertarian arguments or take libertarian positions.
Oh, well, I mean, they do a lot of sometimes, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's good. I think some of their
Yeah, some
positions are good,
exactly, yeah.
but okay, yeah,
Anyway,
all right,
so,
but
okay, the
anyway,
bank.
their
So,
whole system doesn't make sense. It's just I was so
okay, where was the
yeah,
bank located
yeah,
again?
whatever.
Let's go.
Well, let's move back to it's in San Francisco, I believe. But anyway, but so it's quite funny. You see people like David Sachs are doing that. Matt Stoller, like, which is, I guess, a more sort of you could argue like a not a Keynesian, but more of a statist, perhaps economist.
What was
He was advocating for letting them, you know, fail completely. I mean, look, if in a best case scenario, I would think you go through their ledger and their books and all that, and you figure out which businesses are worth saving and which businesses are not worth saving. And what worth means is a very socially constructed idea. So, I mean, who's going to decide that? Blah, blah, blah. But it seems 65% according to forget who, 65% of accounts are all like VCs and crypto
Hmm.
stuff. And I know they have workers. I don't give a shit about them. Like, you know, it's oh, I
What
work in a
are
real
do
estate
individual
agency. Oh, I'm
people
a state.
have
Like, well, who gives a shit? Like,
do
you're not doing
in
anything productive. Fuck off. So,
do individual people have accounts here too, or it's not one of those banks?
yes, but no, individual accounts below $250,000
Are insured, right?
are insured by the federal
Yeah.
government. So it's
Yeah.
accounts above $250,000. And again, I kind of have sympathies with like the threshold should have been higher, I feel, because for business, $250,000 is not much, you know. So a lot of businesses that were basically running on running on revenue, running on income, are fucked. But then again, okay, don't start a business in a bad economy. I mean, I'm sorry, but what do you want? Like, suddenly, because, oh, we are 4 people, so we need, oh, the economy, we are job creating for my cousin and my other cousin and the other, my cousin's friend. 3 people.
And so what do you make of Kim's, like, you know, like I was listening to her latest video. So for her, really the story is,
oh yeah,
and for her the
it's about
story is
killing
really
crypto.
killing crypto, and the government wanting to introduce, you know, its own digital currency. Not digital currency, because that's their own crypto, because yeah,
Their own
crypto is more
digital currency,
digital,
or
yeah.
perhaps crypto.
Yeah.
Perhaps it would be a crypto, as
Yeah.
in crypto, as
They
in
might put one of their
password
mining
protect.
computers in. Would you rent out your room to the Fed if they wanted to, you know, mine some crypto there, you know, and you want good price
Oh,
if
rent
the
out my room to anybody who pays. I
yeah,
don't
for
give
$100 a week, Sam.
Feds.
You sitting there with next to generator.
It's cool. Depend on anybody who pays as well.
But yeah, what do you make
It's
of
not
what
just the Feds.
Kim is saying?
What do you make of it before I
Oh, whoa. I asked the question, right?
to turning the tables? This
No,
was
I can
not
see, you know,
expected
how the
from a
government
narcissist.
you know, might, you know, the government or Federal Reserve might not particularly care for this bank, you know, or their friends might not be involved. So like they don't care what, you know, what they do to it or the approach that they take. And it might, you know, align with their plans, or their ideas of, like, you know, because I mean, yeah, their ideas of killing crypto, but it probably just fell on their lap, I'm guessing, and it because of them increasing the interest rates and all this. And yeah, so I would just like
I
tone
mean,
down the
well,
intentionality a bit, but I mean, if not the things that she was
I don't
saying, it
think it's
wasn't
even
that
that.
crazy or
I don't think they
anything.
give a shit. Like the
Yeah.
idea that,
Yeah, I would agree
like,
with
by
that.
the way, I just, before moving on to the Kim thing, I wanted to mention that I think this is a great example that illustrates the myth of privatization and myth of neoliberalism, as in the idea that, you know, oh, a state, we are not the state, and you know what, like at the end
Yeah.
of the day, all economic activities in the modern world depends on the state. Like, you exist by the grace of the state, and you know, as we can see in this place, like,
You know, in so many
so
ways, I
having said
couldn't
that,
agree more. Like when I'm pissed at, like, you know,
sorry, go
people, and
ahead.
I don't want to, and I'm like, you know, I don't need anybody in this world. I just need the government and my parents. And besides that, I'm good to go.
I just need the basic infrastructure, asphalt, you know, the pipes, the shower, the working switch system. That is all. Is that too much to fucking
Just
ask
as
for?
long as the Swiss government has my back with the Canadians as backup. Okay.
As long as a, you know, relatively strong state backs my rugged individuality, I can really
Yeah, I
go
really
through
don't
with
need any of it. I know how to cook.
with the, you know, with central gas,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
I don't know how to make fire. What am I, a fucking animal? But no, the myth of privatization and neoliberalization as a, like, it was a
Yeah,
coping
that's for sure.
mechanism, because for after 70s there was a decline in the rate of profits globally. I mean, well, not globally, it seems globally it's really 90s, or sorry, not 70s is it starts with the West, 90s is kind of like Japan, and it's starting maybe Germany, and then by not it's Europe, and then 2000, and now it's China and everywhere else, kind of. At any rate, profits, they are not, the rate of profit is not increasing. There is it's not growing as much as it used to, and therefore all these sort of, I call them, I don't know, phony, artificial sort of financial activities are created, like what led to Silicon Valley's collapse, which are all these financial sort of, in my view, one could argue, gambling activities that was allowed to be done with governmental bonds and private bonds and all that, which always leads to crisis. So I think crypto being at the very end and at the sort of is being the most phony or the most artificial of all financial activities, it was very likely that the crypto thing would be the first sort of domino in the sort of, not that, you know, the everything is gradually is happening, it's just the speed of it goes up or down. But I think it was very likely that crypto or something like that would be the first thing to start to go in the increasingly, I would think, deteriorating economic situation.
Definitely. But, and I don't even know, I mean, you know, I hear that they say that this story is a big blow for crypto, this bank going down, but I didn't necessarily myself make that connection or 100% agree. And I just checked the price of Bitcoin, for instance. It's at 22,600. I doubt it was much higher than that. You know, just the yeah, it actually gone up over the past 5 days, it seems. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much even, like, you know, it might be a blow to the crypto market in parts of the US in a way, but crypto, I mean, has taken such a beating. It's like immune. He's like, okay.
And to be honest, the idea that I think they wanted to like control us, they don't want to have us have to different, like, it's just crypto is not a challenge to the hegemonic system that we have. And even if it was, which it is not, even if it was, they would crush it like it's not, it is nothing. It's like like it's economic wise.
Have you heard of the market cap of crypto? It's 3 point.
It's equaling certain toy manufacturers. But it is less labor intensive, so there are fewer people involved. So Toy Story has a wider fucking Toy Store Money. Toy Store Money had wider circulation in 1990s. I remember in Dubai, I used to use Toy Store Money, so it had more global circulation than goddamn Bitcoin.
That's hilarious.
And Toy Story has gone down, right?
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Yeah, I believe they experienced a lot of issues, but you know, they're probably still also hanging on in some places. But yeah, I remember there were like stories a few years ago, yeah. But haven't caught up with that.
Yeah, that's a very important shop to me, okay? But yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, yeah, the whole, you know, economic markets are going down, and that's very bad.
So you're pulling out your, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you pulling out or you're sitting on your investments?
Oh,
or you're buying right now? Are you buying
at my
right
penis?
Now?
I had no idea you were talking about. I wanted to recommend everybody The Day the King Defaulted, which is about a period in, well, it's, I think it's about the period in which the King Charles II of England, also known as the Merry Monarch, as it is pointed out here,
Your days,
decided not to pay the banks. And it was, I mean, I'm just going to read the last chapter. Let me also, as like basically they refused to pay more money to they lend more money to the king, and the king basically stops repaying them for the previous money, and you know, fucks them over. And as a result, and that's like what happens as a consequence. And the goldsmith bankers, well, most of them went bankrupt. That is what happens when the ancient concept of financial leverage is allowed in the absence of a modern limited liability. And many of the prominent bankers of the Restoration era ended up in a debtor's prison. In fact, some committed suicide, others escaped country. This was a tragedy for them of Shakespearean proportions, but with little sympathy from the English masses. For once in history, the market got the better of the bankers and not the other way around. And, you know, I doubt any of this will see any of the suicides or escaping of a country. Sadly, I think they're gonna all you know, this is why people turn to kings, and, you know, this is why reactionaryism is popular, because, you know, that's what kings used to do. They used to just not pay bankers and lead to this type of event.
Nice,
don't
interesting
you
stuff.
get nostalgic for good
Yeah.
old King
I
Charles
was born a
II?
little bit later than this, you know.
Well, I remember it well, and he was a very merry king.
Back then you lived in the UK, right?
Yes. At the time I was based in the UK. This was after the restoration, so I was I had just arrived, basically.
You had returned from exile and
Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly.
what if you're an
You're
immortal? That
100%.
would make sense.
Makes sense for, I wish,
In
I
general,
hope,
I
hopefully.
I think
Fingers
because you know you
crossed.
haven't changed that much from when I first met you and you were in your teens and you had the same interests and stuff. So maybe you just, you know, different, I don't know, makeup or something, hairstyle and all this. And, you know,
Well, you mean physically I haven't changed? Or, I mean,
in every
a
way.
lot of people don't change emotion. Oh,
And
well.
your interests and everything, you know, there's a chance you were from back then, or who knows.
I am certainly a reincarnated spirit of some kind of British person, but who, we don't know. It's not very clear. It's not. My guess is, I don't know, some shitty lord, second rate. No. But
Okay.
also, on just to finish off this serious segment, was the AUKUS submarine plan. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah, so what's the latest, or maybe also give a quick background if you want for our viewers.
So AUKUS nuclear year was a nuclear year in which, if anybody remembers, if there was any silver lining to this deal, was the fact that, if you recall, French got fucked by it.
Yeah.
And the way French got fucked by it was that they had a deal with Australia already for some nuclear, I don't know, submarine or some shit. And then Boris, on the side of some other fucking conference, decided to lobby Australia to have their submarines built in the UK or something. I don't know, it's probably built in China, as always. It's probably outsourced to China, India. But they're building these, talking of China, they're building these to combat China. And basically, America and UK are basically giving Australia a bit of a, you know, like, here, man, have a energy drink. Here, you can do it. You can stand up to China. Go on. You do. Australia. So that's what I think is happening right now.
Oh.
And Australia, the dumbasses they are, they're just walking around. Yeah, sure, we can fight China. We can take them on. We've barely been, you know, escaping kangaroos for the last 100 years, but sure, we can take on China.
Hey,
So yeah, that's
don't underestimate kangaroos. A lot
I
of
don't.
great men.
That's why I stay fuck away from Australia. Have you seen kangaroos pictures, man? Their
Yeah,
body
they're
is just
insane.
pure fucking muscle. They're basically like human-sized rats. That's what.
Yeah,
Anyway,
well put.
so now they're announcing, you know, the next step in AUKUS and all that. So that's very nice, and it's all going well. And it seems partially, it seems to me, this is not what authorities say, but it seems to me in response, China, Iran, and Russia started doing, announced they're going to do, what's it called? Military parade in the Omani Sea from 15th of March to 19th of March, which is what is today? So it starts tomorrow or today. It has started today. I don't know. I don't know where I'm like, but based on where I am, it just started or it just finished. So so you know, everybody's basically like doing their, you know, everybody's doing, this is the part in the movie where the people in the bar are like getting like that and they're standing up and what did you say about China, what did you say about Taiwan? Everybody's getting a bit like, you know, a bit more like tense. So the fight hasn't started, but if you like, this is the time to go get your popcorn, because shit is about to hit the fan, potentially with nuclear weapons.
Let's hope not.
I mean, let's
I
let's
don't
not
want
take
you
a
to
side
lose
here.
that Federal Reserve deal you have for generating crypto in your
Good point. Good
mining Bitcoin.
Mining Bitcoin. And further on the back of the, I'm sure you remember the whole Iran Saudi rapprochement backed by China. We had this is the guy who brokered the deal. He's the secretary of the National Security Council, basically supreme leader's guy for the last 9 years. So the idea that Iranian foreign policy changes from government to government or any other country is a joke. And he's yesterday the treasury minister or something equivalent of that of Saudi Arabia said the investment in Iran could happen very quickly. And today or yesterday, he went to UAE to meet with the UAE's national security advisor. So things are moving fast.
Prosperity is about to hit Iran, huh?
Yeah,
a lot of things happening for you.
Man, I feel like my fucking prophecy that Iran is, we are basically going through the 80s of America. They basically gonna start giving us social freedom, and they're gonna basically, because they started selling off a lot of public buildings as well, a lot of public land, a lot of stuff. They're basically gonna privatize everything, even more so than others, but allow foreign investments and that type of shit, you know, and social freedoms to an extent.
I see.
So, that's my prophecy, I suppose. Do you have any prophecies, perhaps, for future
concerning Iran and the region,
or anything? Football, whatever it comes.
No, you put me on the spot there. No, sure have a lot, but I can't think of any. Oh, concerning the region.
If that makes it easier for you.
No. I mean,
just want to make it easier.
No.
It's just whatever I do to make it easier, I just seem to make it more difficult. But come on, give a prophecy about Premier League. Who's going to win the Premier League?
No, but I mean, in the region, I talked about it a bit, about like, you know, last time about, you know, Saudi Arabia's direction and the way that they're going a little bit. So just more business, less relying on, you know, war maybe and these kind of things to an extent, and the US, or, you know, there aren't that many countries left to invade, you know. The wars are just kind of those ones there. So
by the way, there is a significant rapprochement with Assad as well. Like apparently there were reports I read on BBC Persia that by the end of the next month they're gonna basically readmit Syria officially into the Arab League. I can't find the report.
Assad must be depressed these days. He's probably looking at like how many people are visiting his Wikipedia page, and it's just like crashed big time. It's like the numbers. I remember the good old days.
From that angle,
I was everywhere.
What are you talking about? Because after the earthquake, every nation, Arab nation and others, Muslim nations, they started courting him and all that. But you're right, his online social engagement has gone down significantly. And that's what matters, guys. Online social engagement. Fuck the Arab League or the Muslim League
He's like, he just gets drunk, you know, every now and then, and puts like the time around 2014, 2015.
Yeah, he just play some like Anya music or something into the yeah,
No, it's
I can
horrible,
definitely
horrible
see.
joke. Alrighty, Sam, let's move on to our next segment.
So I was directed to one of the most pleasurable videos I've ever seen by the Vanguard boys, which is the Kim Iversen interview with Jesse Ventura. Did you see this bit?
Yeah. Although this part the rest was even funnier, but yeah.
I think this is the best. Let me just play this, and then I have a couple of really good ideas, I think. So this is the part okay, let's actually we have to talk about the interview first. I went on Rumble, which what do you think of Rumble? You said there's perhaps what do you think of their format?
Oh, I mean, I don't go on it because I mean I don't really there's nothing that can't find on YouTube, I think, and go there. And we tried putting our stuff back there. I remember like 2 years ago it would do like 0 views. But go back to Kim Iversen's, go back to the YouTube video. So this actually is kind of funny. Right here in the live chat on the side, you can see someone wrote, Ramian wrote, "You dudes should get on Rumble." Right? And like Gavin reads that, and that's when he has one of his funny comments. He's like, yeah, we don't mind going there, you know, in the middle of all the right wingers and just piercing through the noise. I mean, the way they see themselves is like so disproportionate to the size of the channel. It's just hilarious. That's funny.
Just reality of media or how it works, or just piercing through the. Anyway, but oh man, this interview, it was amazing. It was just a flashback to pre-Trump era. It was such a flashback. Jesse Ventura was just, you know, he was, and Kim Iversen kept asking. It was unbelievable. It was the closest thing to a granddaughter. No, not a granddaughter. Sorry. A granddaughter-in-law being trapped with a great-grandfather of the opposite family, and just doing her best at sure. I'm just gonna play a bit for you. It's just amazing. It's just really good. They talk about conspiracy. By the way, I've only seen like 40 minutes. I had to go rewatch some of the best parts because it was just too good. I have to play some of this for you. They talk about conspiracies, they talk about assassinations, and I think this is the part about assassinations, which is like, you know, people who talk against the hegemony and, you know, that type of shit.
Has been asleep at the wheel and allows him to get away with it.
Yeah.
Let's talk turkey. That's what it is. There's a few people like me that raise hell and pay a price for it. You know, that's why my show on Substack.
By the way, before moving on, I just
quit.
like to point out that Jesse Ventura clearly is appearing from an unknown location in South America, somewhere we assume. And I love the appearance of, well, what appears to be, and I hope to God, is a robe de chambre over there on the background.
No, it's a dress shirt.
Is it dress shirt? Oh, it's not robe de chambre. I read it.
But interesting thing, he has it on 3 hooks. That's interesting.
Well, that's...
Yes, sorry?
He's using 3 hooks to hang it.
But
so
the
maybe
hooks are small.
Yeah, but it's giving an interesting shape. His dress shirt's like this. I wonder if it's good for, you know, maintaining it nice or, yeah. But sorry.
Yeah, I do. I usually put it on 2.
Oh, yeah, you probably have a whole technique.
That's a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, listen to this assassination and people.
Slogan that you see in training, but here's how it applies to me. I chose that for my show on Substack because I'm going to keep talking till I die. The only thing that's going to shut me up is dying.
Do you worry about
That's
that?
why I use die first, then quit.
Oh, by the
I'm
way, the
not
best
going to
part of the
quit.
interview, just pay attention how many times the time. It's just literally like with your grandpa. It's like, so are you you're not. So, yeah, I'm sorry. What did you say? Yeah, that's about catcher in the eye. Catcher. You'll see. You'll see. It's amazing.
I'm going to keep talking till the day I die, and that'll be the only thing that shuts me up, Kim.
Do you think that there's a possible? I mean, the people that get shut up get assassinated. That's what we've seen over and over. Anybody who's anti-war,
yeah,
seems to
oh,
end
I
up in
feel
the
very
same.
much in that category. I mean, if you look, I find it so ironic that the people who are against war die from being shot. The exact thing what war is. I mean, John F. Kennedy, there would have been no Vietnam if they wouldn't have killed him.
I'd just like to point out, American involvement in Vietnam started under Eisenhower, was escalated under Kennedy. So what are you talking about? If he died, there wouldn't be no. But I mean, it's amazing. It's just too funny.
Robert F. Kennedy, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and then go all the way to John Lennon of the Beatles. Give peace a chance.
Doc Brown, Bill and Ted, Sarah Connor, John Connor, Simba's dad, Mufasa. All of these people were taken out by the deep state. I mean, John Lennon one. I mean, maybe he was, but I don't. I mean, yeah. People in deep state are stupid enough to think John Lennon was a threat, but it was just John, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
John Lennon. Oh my God, it's amazing. But yeah, and the whole interview, I love the way he uses logic, and I think the next best part is the part the Vanguard guys point out, which is this. Did you hear this part? It's unbelievable.
The face mask or something, and his mom
Basically said they should be eradicated from society. I mean, he was one of the fiercest voices against unvaccinated people that wanted to make. Where do you stand on mandates, by the way?
Well, I think that I don't believe you should mandate things. I think people should have common sense and use their own judgment. Like I went through the thing, I did a radio show where everybody chastised me for wearing masks. So I said to them, well, let me ask all you anti-mask people, you tell me they don't work, right? That's what I was told, they don't work. I said, well, then you're telling me my mom lied to me.
I'm sorry, what?
Because my mom was a nurse. And I remember as a child, I went in to visit her at the hospital and she came out of surgery. And I said to her, Mom, what do you wear that mask for?
It's just unbeatable logic. And he brings up the mom like 5-6 times. His mom apparently served in North Africa. And but it's just, you want to argue with my mom?
Yeah, it's such a, I mean, it's really such like a, I mean, I would say the kind of argument that made me comfortable because he's just kind of using his position, and like the respect that she has to show to him to kind of bully and advance like a kind of bullshit take. He can't do it somewhere else if like the other person wasn't like overly respect them, because they'll be like, okay, or just bring the mom like that. It just makes what are you gonna say to someone? Yeah, what are you gonna say to someone? Well, he's using it.
Your mom.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't,
I think that's he's bullying. Yeah, he's bullying Kim into submission through using the strong woman that was his mom.
And here's a picture of a cat, by the way. Okay.
The cat without a mask that is dead, and this is a cat with a mask, alive. Look at the kitty. Look at it was unbelievable. You're telling me my mom lied to me? Are you
be careful? Like he can definitely come and find me and beat me up. You're slightly safer, but I would still.
Man, what are you talking about? I'm not safer. He's on good terms with all these anti-hegemonic. He's probably got connections with the Iranian.
True, he'll send someone over. Me, I think he'll just hop on a plane, come to Geneva, come upstairs, knock, beat me up, go back. Take the return plane of the same flight. The return flight of
Your assassinations will be carried out through a very personal touch. Mine would be through like some Iranian lackey, Javad Agha or something, with his mustache will suffocate me. But man, it was just the interview is amazing, and it's just I felt really bad for Kim, man. She was, and I have to tell you, like, get ready because in 20 years, I feel like this is gonna be me. Because it's just like flashbacks to, do you remember? Do you remember? He kept going on about Howard Stern. I probably keep on going about, do you remember? Do you remember? It's Always Sunny. Do you remember? It's Always Sunny. We used to watch it together. Let's go, man. One bit he's trying to. This John F. Kennedy thing, he's like, he's trying to blow your mind. I talked to this eyewitness, and he said, nobody talked to me. It's like, man, we are in a post-Trump world. People believe in goddamn fairies and witches. Like, do you think like you're blowing people's mind with the... I mean, like, it's just CIA admitted basically to killing Kennedy, and they're kind of like, well, we didn't. Nobody cared. It was amazing. It was just unbelievable.
You know who would stand up to him? Like Noam Chomsky or someone. Like, he wouldn't give two shits. Like, he would just respond back.
Noam Chomsky would be so... Noam Chomsky would be like you with the libertarians. He's so dismissive that he would be...
he wouldn't even acknowledge him, really. He would just like...
armed.
He would just like give his own answer, but in such a like dismissive and totally... an opposition and dismissing the other person, but without like saying that he's doing
just
so.
Completely destroy.
Yeah.
Like, well, the research actually shows the opposite. If you look at the empirical data, it indicates that you're dumbass. Maybe you should shut up. He would be very cold. Yeah, I can imagine. But do you think Chomsky watches WWE?
No.
Wrestling professionals? No.
Why?
I don't know. Samuel Beckett apparently was friends with Andre the Giant, so you'd never know. Would have been fun. But as you noticed, by the way, there is a theme with all the Vanguard videos, right? And that theme is
Marianne Williams. But they also defend him a lot. Any of that they have, like when they defend someone, it's literally as if they're their spokesperson. Like with the Marianne Williamson, they like listen to a clip,
they're
pause it, provide her response.
This is the press officer, Marianne. No, but before getting into, I'll get to Jesse, Marianne. But before that, did you see this thing? They had a thing. Where was it? Oh, here. Did you see this thing? These part of their video.
Yeah.
Did you know about this show?
No, but I recognize a lot of them, of course. By then,
these scoundrels are finally getting together.
Well, the Lance guy is not. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's from that word as well. Yeah, he's goofy.
Mickey, don't do this. No. I always suspected them Goofy had socialist tendencies. You could see that Mickey is the guy. Mickey is the capitalist. Goofy's just he's like, I have to go through with it. I don't want to. But they were very negative, largely. Not negative. They were like, just like most people.
No, like one of them is like, like Marianne Williamson, she can run. I wouldn't give my money to her. There are a lot of other people running for
it's
Congress.
Okay.
A lot. And I just they were all saying things like that, because they're not the type to like really trash someone. I guess they do it perhaps, but not too much. But with her, they're like, it's kind of useless, and they're very dismissive of her without making it personal, I would say. But I love that guy's advice. Like, I wouldn't give money.
It was like, I love how he was like, we have so many candidates, so many things that we have to spread the money around. One of them said, which I don't know, like
But let me
probably
be,
like
can I
some
be fair with
controller
Vanguard
for some-
boys for one thing?
Just
And tell me,
before-
okay, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just before that I was gonna say you're 100% right. They're not the type of, they're like, they're self-aware political nerds. Like we are self-aware political nerds. We know how ridiculous what we do is. They're like, no, it's so good for the discussion. I am so glad for Marianne to be there, for the discussion to be evolving.
Man, if
Kinda.
anything, there's a good
Right.
chance that she'll adopt some more like centrist position. Like there's a good chance the discussion goes in the other way. Like
Move
she
to the right.
no, she goes more
Pretty
towards
great.
like the Democrats and Biden.
Yeah,
But
I
there's
am pro World War III right now. I have decided.
and for
We should
what?
invade Venezuela. Yes.
I
The
already
crystal
commit
smoke
to
to me.
2
Ah,
world
c-
wars.
Over the apple ciders, we decided that Venezuela is ripe for invasion. Now, but sorry, you were gonna defend
No.
Vanguard boys.
I think, tell me if I got the facts right here, according to you, which is that, the leftist someone on
Facts?
this leftist mafia, or like, if I remember just let me know what you think. So the leftist mafia, someone on the leftist mafia, or a podcast show here, says that, Marianne Williamson doesn't have a movement or anything, it's just her. Whereas Bernie in 2016, there was a movement behind him and everything. And then I think the Vanguard boys were right here to point out that Bernie didn't start off by he didn't start off by having a movement. It's just like suddenly people were like, oh, well, what's happening? And like he had such an astronomical rise in popularity and being, popularity. So I think they had a fair point, right? The Vanguard boys were also 100%, right?
The boys were 100%.
Okay, no, say the
very
Vanguard
limited
boys.
aspect. In a very limited aspect of that.
Okay, I'm gonna chop this and blackmail you. I'm gonna use this. Like someone from YouTube will come and meet you. But okay.
Guys, are you sure you want this? I'm sure YouTube will be like, guys, you want this broadcast? This feels like it's gonna be bad for you. No, but I would say that Bernie did have a proven track record, though.
Yeah, much more than her. But he was, he was a politician his whole life. I mean, she had a proven track record of being, I guess, famous and like selling other stuff. That's subjective. I'm putting the objective passage. She's had multiple successful careers.
Not job.
Listen, if you make it on Ellen, you've made it. Okay, I don't care what you do there. Whether you're dancing,
she made it on opera.
Oh, okay.
She made it on opera. Oh,
she's loyal.
Like, even better. Yeah, I guess you have to respect the player at some level. I guess you're right. That's I always have it. But
and yeah, I mean,
before moving on
I
to
hope
the whole
she
Marianne Williamson
spice things up and comes in and makes it at least fun in some way and all this
sake.
And yeah, reintroduces Medicare. every left. The bar on the left every election for some people was like, okay, she's gonna come and reintroduce Medicare. It's like a rerun.
We'll see.
Play the old tapes.
Before moving on to Marianne fully and all that, I have a very good suggestion for you. Before that though, like I'm surprised, aren't you? I would have thought Disney would have sued them by now. Over, you can't use Goofy's likeness just like that. For years, he's been living off of Disney's creation. This is not right, man. I don't think you can't just go around this surf time and just basically do his Goofy's whole act. This is like I hope one day Joe Rogan stands up against this motherfucker as well. Like,
no.
Can't just steal Goofy's whole stand-up act and we're the working people. Mickey.
Joe Rogan. Yeah,
that was his best when he was fighting the crusade against the joke thieves. the lowest level of criminal, like the lowest of the low of criminals, joke thieves. Like,
Hey,
oh,
personal to him.
no, yeah, I agree. They're also,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jimmy
But,
Dore was playing these
but
clips fair to him. He was like, look, Joe Rogan was right about COVID and all this, and it was about Bill Gates. And fair enough, Bill Gates now is saying so 180, like complete opposite. That's what he was saying before. I'm like,
oh
you
yeah,
don't
what he
have to
said.
go that far in either direction. You know, it's like, I
Bill,
love
you
her
know, you
so
could shut
much. I
up.
love her so much. I despise her. Chillax. Who told you to do? Like it is like it's a
Strong
bit
with
comical how like you know the extent that
Bill
he's
Gates.
got. Yeah.
No, but I like how he's like tries to be cool. You know, I always thought that vaccines are great, and then like 2 weeks later, yeah, as I always said, vaccines are great.
Yeah.
They never. It's like, what? Didn't
No,
you
yeah.
just like?
Like side by
complete-
side, it is a bit of a joke. Like no one, like, yeah, people disguise it way more, you know. Like he's just so
Yeah, usually
he
like
just
yeah,
removed like the
like
word not from
vaccines
it.
could
He's like, okay.
potentially just. Yeah.
Vaccines
I
save
really
you,
think a lot
vaccines
and
don't save you. No, that's enough. Yeah. Disguise it maybe a bit. Like
with the potential,
yeah,
possible, maybe,
you're taking us
perhaps,
for
we'll see what
suckers. I mean,
happens.
show us
If
respect to
God is
people.
willing.
Like you're not even trying to trick me. You're just like, he can't be bothered.
Yeah, he's too rich. He's too rich. He can't be bothered. Yeah, today I'm saying it's good. Okay, take it. Take it, you fucker. Take it.
I swear.
Tomorrow, no. I stop taking it. Stop. All right. So, well, that's Bill for you. But I did come to a great conclusion watching this.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what do you think of
that you would do? And
this is
which one?
No, this is a suggestion. This is a suggestion of putting two great characters together. Perhaps romantically, perhaps politically, whichever works better for the story. Jesse Ventura, Marianne Williamson. Man, we get these together. Vanguard boys made that documentary. Do you remember that documentary? They made, it was 10 minutes. They went to Jesse's house and were like, okay, guys, quickly, Jesse, talk to us.
Got told off for smoking.
Yeah, told off. So I'm just saying, they can maybe perhaps
that's a brilliant idea.
They're having like an online discussion with Jesse, but Jesse, goes overboard, and it's, and Marianne is set to come in to, talk to them and stuff, and then maybe it becomes a discussion between 4 people, and then I googled Jesse and Marianne, and check this out.
Oh. When is this from?
Let me venture a wild guess here, Marianne.
2014.
Are you sick and tired of
that? I love how even he tries to use puns all the time. Let me venture a guess.
a war like I am?
I'm more than...
Let me venture a wild guess here, Marianne. Are you sick and tired of war like I am?
I'm more than sick and tired. I'm absolutely horrified at the fact that we've become a permanent war economy, a permanent war machine. And I fear for my country if this continues and the American people don't wake up and commit themselves to interrupting this pattern.
Well, Marianne, let me take this moment on Off the Grid to wish you the best of luck. You got my support 100%. I hope you end up in Congress.
Thank you.
We need free thinkers like you there to do the job, and
I
you'll
feel
pave
like
the
free
way that
thinker
maybe
is a
just...
very apt way of putting this. Somebody who thinks that perhaps you can, pray 8 a week. She's really a free thinker. Her thought is freely moving in all directions. But man, get these together, get a couple of, drinks going. Perhaps she can make apple cider of some kind.
And the Vanguard boys will be going nuts, jumping up and down in the background. That's hilarious. Not a bad idea.
Man, it's gonna be, look, we do a sitcom, right? They get together and they adopt the Vanguard boys. Huh?
Not a bad idea.
Good idea?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Netflix? I want my money now, Netflix, please. This is great, man. This is like perfect. He's an old sort of cranky man, and she's this sort of a nice, sweet lady with her, powers of miracles and shit. It's just gonna be. Oh, honey, don't be so angry about the deep state. Just have
I think
this.
she's out
We're
of
gonna
his
fight them
league,
with the
though.
crystals. Really?
Yeah.
Fuck you. What you talking about? Have you seen his body? He was Abrixia, the guardian of galaxy. Do you know about that?
Oh, but I mean,
No, you don't.
now at least things have changed.
Abrax, guardians. Yes, things have changed. That's a good point. But man, this is a movie he was in Abraxas, sorry, in 80s. It's like a really shitty sci-fi ripoff. And I recently watched parts of it again, and I kid you not, there is a bit he's saving a little boy. He's a space police. He's a space police, and he's like, "What is your like? What do you do, a strong man?" Stuff. And then he's like, "Well, we protect the galaxy from the bad guys and all that." And then the little boy is like, "Oh, like a policeman?" And I kid you not, he says, "I like to think of it more as a peace man, going around and spreading peace." It's like, oh Jesus Christ, kill me now.
Jeez, seriously. Peace man, oh my God.
So I
and
felt,
here,
I
look at
felt
that. He
you would-
interviewed Alex Jones. Who's that? What's the libertarian guy? Oh, Ron Paul.
Oh, Ron Paul. Oh yeah.
His son. I'm pretty sure Rand Paul works more than all the other members of Congress or Senate put together.
Rand Paul.
Yeah, the young one too.
Yeah.
Anytime anything's happening, he's there. He has some kind.
Yeah, he's ready to do interviews. I'm libertarian movement. He's ready to express his opinions. Anybody?
I don't think there's a hearing that he couldn't attend or whatever that he hasn't attended and spoken more than everybody else.
No, I swear to God, I'm pretty sure Rand Paul at some point may have come to Iran as well to attend some conference. He's just there is nowhere you invite this motherfucker and he wouldn't go. You can't. Like the Iranian style Tarof, you can't do it because if you do, he's just like, if you want, you can stay the night. Oh, sure, yeah, I'll stay. Oh, Jesus. It's just Tarofing, man.
Shows up to his local town. He's like, yeah, I'm here about the debate for the new skate park being built on Avenue Street. And also the basketball court.
I oppose this. Oh man, but I thought you would be a bit more open to my suggestion that perhaps politically or romantically, still more on the romantic thing, they should get together and Vanguard boys should be the key, should be the connective
politically this would kill her, that's for sure. Romantically, I feel like he would also kill her, so I don't know if I stand for that, to be honest.
It would be a great romantic comedy from 90s, though. It would be a great romantic comedy.
More like the 60s, but yeah.
I know. Come on, 60s. They have to be both
the
young
60s
and hot.
Of the
90s
90s.
Was...
Okay. I don't know what that means, but
okay. Sure. Okay. All right.
Alrighty, Sam. Alrighty, let's move on to Act 3, the final act of this piece of art, this theater.
I never hear final without singing that.
So Khana was back for his quarterly interview. This guy is punctual. I mean, I respect his punctuality and commitment. He's just shows up at
I'm pretty sure
Breeze thing every 4 months at exactly 4 p.m. Washington time.
by the second he's on. Yeah. No, I believe this was part of when he was made the chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign. I believe he was also made to sign a contract that forever and ever he's bound to appear every 4 months or so on Bree's
No,
show.
quarterly. I'm sure
You
it's
know,
a quarterly deal.
even if Bree doesn't have a show, they have to have a
He's
1
there.
hour phone call conversation about the state of the progress.
No, not an hour. No. His contract, he managed to get on from the other side. His side negotiated that it's around 20 to 25 minutes, the conversations. So I know
No, it's 1 hour.
Really? So maybe okay.
I think so. It's behind
there
the
was a
paywall, I
clause. After 2 years, it becomes an hour long. I swear.
If Bree continues to show up for the interview, they exponentially increase by in 5 years time, it's gonna be like 3 hour sort of discussion. I can't imagine Khana is retired from politics. He's calling him like Bree. I believe that at the moment the right strategy is. Bree, I don't know. Poor guy. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, but I do think he's probably the best politician right now working in US. I would say he's the most professional.
Now that would be more fun instead of Marianne Williamson if he ran. I would be just curious what he says more, and does
but
a bit.
He's more,
I mean, he will eventually. No, I'm sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, who knows?
There you go. You wanted. Oh, there you go. You were asking me for a prophecy or something earlier on. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's another simple, easy one.
Here's your prophecy.
Well, what's her name?
My prophecy.
AOC will run also, but maybe in 1 or 2 election cycles. But yeah, I don't think those. I don't think they qualify as prophet. You also believe tomorrow will be another day.
Sun will be out, I think. I mean, you never know, but
yeah.
I mean, between him and AOC, though, I would definitely go for.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. Oh, AOC would be so annoying. Just her campaign would actually be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I just out of like even policy wise, she's like up to 20% to his like more my position. I still go for him because I just can't take her. I'm sorry, but she can't be. I'm getting a manicure for the Afghan children. Okay. Should have happiness in our hearts. Thank you. Thank you, psychotic lady.
My house cleaner is an Afghani boy. What? How does that?
Okay. Tax the rich. Anyways, but yeah, there was also this. I mean, man, this culture all shit. I don't even want to talk. Like, there was a couple of news about trans stuff, this and book stuff that. But it just feels like complete bullshit. Like, it feels like I've gotten to the point. I feel like we got to that point together where we just got tired of making fun of religious people. Like, just like, okay, we get it. They're like, they think funny stuff. And it's just like, whatever. It's part of life now. Like,
like, so you're learning to live with
it's just but it was funny because apparently there was an interview where somebody's brain broke or something. Do you want to play this?
Yeah, this is pretty funny.
Should I play?
Consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we talk about traditional,
what does that mean to you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. Sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, time.
Of Americans consider themselves very liberal.
And everything that she says makes it worse. Like, or I mean, it's as if she's doing it on purpose.
So apparently, so she had this thing, and then I went on her Twitter. So she went on the Hill and she failed to answer the question, right? And first she's sharing this video, and you're like, oh, you seem like a cool lady. You're sharing bits that, you know, I was wrong, ha ha ha. But then you continue reading, and then she explains what she thinks wokeness is: a radical belief system, suggesting that institutions are built around discrimination, and claiming that all disparity is a result of that discrimination. By the way, this
no
is not,
wonder she couldn't explain it,
woke
because
stuff.
she can't, like, you know, you have to like copy this word by word, you know, like a radical. I mean, no wonder she completely blocked.
No, I know. But by the way, I mean, fuck the woke thing. I hate the woke thing, but or believe that institutions are built around discrimination. What do you think the like Vatican Church and the Islamic like mosque, what do you think they're built on? Like their institutions self-consciously discriminate against non-members. So I don't, that's not a very radical belief system. Anyway, but yeah, apparently she goes on to explain, as a mom of 6,
too
including
funny.
Newborn, this question just threw me off. And then she goes on to say, just before we went on air, Briahna Joy Gray was on a hot mic. I heard her demeaning parents in general in colorful and nasty terms. Colorful and nasty terms. Just love to know, like what can you believe? Can you guess what was like the most nasty term that Brie said? Like, oh, they are so mean. Like, that's probably the worst thing she can.
Or she probably said, I don't want to have a kid or something. I can see her saying something like that.
No, it's just the worst word she in her vocabulary is probably,
no, I mean, this
like,
is pathetic. This is so embarrassing. Do you think this person is at least gaining some subscribers, at least some followers? Or do you think you can make a fool of yourself to this extent? Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me finish her tweet. Stating parents only have kids in order to perpetuate their own narcissism. Robbie responded, there are some good ones and some bad. I can't believe that, though, because it does sound like Robbie with, I don't want to get involved in this fucking nonsense.
He probably just has a few go-to lines that he goes to. It's like, oh, neither here nor there. Okay.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Good enough. Depends how you look at it.
That's really like,
and or maybe, but I guess we'll never know. What I just told you.
Yeah,
who knows?
You are right from a certain point of view.
Yeah. I agree to an extent.
Yeah, Bill Gates needs to talk to Robbie about, you know, the way he talks, like, you know, the way he speaks and all. But yeah, so I mean, she was thrown off, I guess, by the fact that Brie was cursing the family as in she was attacking the family
on the hill, beating up her mom.
Fuck family, fuck mothers. You know who I hate?
To rap
mothers.
Music.
Yeah, listening to stupid. Fuck the family. Fuck the family. Fuck the family. Instead of fuck the police.
Burning the Bible.
She was thrown. I would be thrown up. Man, what a psycho, man! It's just these people are psychos, man. Like, you know, that I went on Jordan Peterson
verified
thing.
Nuts.
Like, the man is a. Sorry.
She's verified, I said, but then I said, you know, she's like verified nuts. Maybe that's what the blue check means.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, you're crazy.
That seems to be the indicators that, you know, this person is verifiably crazy, but we don't want to invest in the infrastructure to put them in a. So, neoliberal world. Welcome to the neoliberal world. We verify your mental, but we don't do anything about it. And then I came to this guy. Have you heard about this ChatGPT thing?
Yeah. I mean,
AI.
Yeah.
It's like a, you know, like a sort of a new AI, sort of a search engine type thing, right?
Yeah, it can write for you stuff. You can ask it questions, and you know, people were quite impressed by some of the answer it gives. And you can ask it to shorten it even more and all that. You know, it's big progress from like I guess those like chatbots you see on websites. But and it does produce some like decent stuff. Like my sister, like put in a university question, and like at first it seems like a very good answer. It is a bit more impressive than usual AI stuff that you see, but
Yeah, exactly. But not,
I think they
but
still can't
everybody
come
needs
and
to chill the
replace
fuck
me
out.
here on this podcast. I think
No,
these jokes.
I mean, look, these are original content coming. The creativity that is involved in our joke telling, I do not think can ever be replaced. However, people need to chill the fuck out, man. You have on one side people, okay, humans have become obsolete, this is gonna do everything. And then on the other, well, not necessarily on the other side, on just another side,
Yeah.
not on the other side, just another crazy side. You have this psycho Jordan Peterson, ChatGPT, write a poem about Trump versus write a poem. Like, are you like this psychotic Victorian era man now has access to this ChatGPT? And can you imagine what is going to happen to ChatGPT after this psycho puts his inner thoughts into this machine? And you should see his Twitter, man. Like he's going crazy basically because he believes that ChatGPT has a sort of a left-wing bias. We are doomed, Elon Musk. We are doomed at Elon Musk. Like, what Elon Musk is gonna do? What Elon Musk is gonna do, Wadi? What is he gonna do? Like, he's pro AI, I thought. He's putting chip into people's brains. Like, it's just, man, people are just psychos. ChatGPT not only lies, it admits when cornered that it has been trained to lie. Follow the thread carefully. It has been trained to lie. God damn, man. God damn.
Man, this guy.
The whole world is like, basically, I figured out culture war, as I've said, I think a year ago to you. It's just the new religious wars. That's all it is. Like, I don't know if you, like the very early, before Protestant, there were this group, Hussite, I don't know how to pronounce them. They were sort of anti-Catholic from, I think, what is Czech Republic now, like somewhere around those areas. And if you go and read like some of the different groups, like we believe you should have the the Sunday bread thingy, the Jesus thingy, you should have it with your right hand. No, we believe you should have it with your left hand. And like they had like a 300-year war over this, like this right hand, left hand, this. It just gets really boring after a while. I don't know.
100% agree with you.
Yeah, not that it's not fun sometimes. Of course it is. Yeah, I put this up because they are you familiar with Roald Dahl as an author? I know you haven't read the books. So
no, I don't think so.
He wrote a lot of children's. Matilda is very famous, maybe musical Matilda you heard. Danny DeVito made a movie based on Matilda. And,
I mean, the name
one
sounds
of her
familiar,
books is The
but
Witches. Yeah. One of the books is The Witches, which I really like, and recently I read that apparently this was one of the books that was also altered in the, recent woke sort of thing.
Oh, okay, like it was removed from the curriculum in some places.
No, it was it was more pernicious, to be honest. I don't mind actually so much being removed from a curriculum of a school. That's, I guess, up to a school or whatever. It was the Roald Dahl's foundation, I guess, the state and the publishers decided to alter the text because Roald Dahl is quite dark. The Witches is probably one of the darkest children books out there. And there's a lot of like stuff about like what these days they call fat shaming, or in the case of the Witches, the passages were removed in which the witches were made fun of or were like described as bald and ugly, like because bald, as we discussed with the recent alopecia case of Will Smith's wife, apparently can't make fun of bald people anymore. So it's just, yeah, it was ridiculous. But it's I find. Do you remember Thank You for Smoking?
Yes.
The movie.
Yes.
I don't know if you recall, but at the very end of that, in a very sort of a comedic montage, you see the guy who's fighting against smoking try to they're trying to redo the past, and they have all these pictures of Humphrey Bogart or Audrey Hepburn, and they've removed this cigarette and they replaced it with like a candy cane or something. So it really was reminiscence, and it was just like a part of fiction becoming reality.
I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, what's the point of this book then? It just it becomes another book.
And I mean, it's the thing many people pointed out.
Nobody's
It's
forced to read
like
it.
people. Sure, I mean, yeah, and everybody points out it's just such an idiotic thing trying to language police, because the terms we use for dim-witted person is stupid, idiot, imbecile. All these words, I read some bit article, I think it's true that all these words were at some point medical terms that became derogatory through like usage. And what do you think is going to happen with the words we invent now? It's going to become derogatory over time. So.
Yep, but okay. Nice. Anything else?
No, that's it. We are done. What about, do you have anything?
No, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned,
share?
I watched the Chris Rock. I mean, because the Chris Rock clips were very exciting. You know, the few Chris Rock clips were very exciting. The ones that, you know, everybody's probably seen.
You watched the full show?
Yeah, with him and Will Smith. So, I mean, I found it so funny. So I was like, oh yeah, let me go watch it. But yeah, but I couldn't. I got really bored 5-10 minutes in. Didn't find it funny. So stopped watching. So I never actually made it to those jokes.
With a stand-up, I always try to give it like good 30 minutes before I 5-10 I feel is a bit too short. But fair enough. So you're not good.
No, and then I watched on Netflix. Oh yeah. I mean that but no, and then I also watched this Netflix show. I'll just mention to it quickly. It's one of my favorite kinds, you know, murder and stuff, and it just like it's just so funny. It's all centered around this I forgot the name. But it just takes place in like some small US county. And this one guy is like the king of there and the family, and there are a lot of murders and stuff linked to them.
Anything?
No, it's a documentary. Murdog, search Murdog. But not like Murdoch, but Murdog. Search Murdog Netflix. I don't think, you probably wouldn't like it.
Southern Scandal, I think I like it. I love Southern sort of gothic horror books, so should be good. Looks good.
Yeah, it's 3 episodes.
Murder. Oh my God! On YouTube, you know the channel I started following after the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, the Law channel, Emily Baker. She covered this, I think. Alex Murdaugh or something.
Yep.
And the dad is like done something in secret, and it's okay. That should be interesting. That should be fun to watch.
But it's
I like this. Man, just because I don't like that shitty A Friend of Family TV show, which was the shittiest show I've ever seen. Oh my God.
I'm never recommending anything to you since then.
No, dude, this is good. This is good recommendation.
But I am sure, you're gonna find the teenagers really annoying at first, probably. I can guess that. But listen, I would watch. I mean, the story is no spoilers. I mean, actually, you kind of, I guess, know this a bit now since you kind of heard. No spoilers at all, but it's like first episode is about one story, but then other stories happen. I'll just put it that way.
So there are twists within twist type thing. That's good. That's
or like just new new things that get added, including whole new events. So then some of the initial story evolves. But yeah, check it out. Maybe you'll like it. I was super into it.
Sure.
I live for this kind of stuff. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. Of
course. It's really fun. Recently, I am coming to the conclusion that both me and you have a personality of a 1960s housewife. Like from the shows we watch, things you're interested. Have you heard about this recent marriage?
She got divorced, but she hasn't told her parents. No.
You know any single man?
What? For who? What?
For the girl who got divorced.
Okay.
But yeah, you also sent me the Michael Segru
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that's something we can get
lecture
into
on Schopenhauer, which
right now.
no, I would say that recently I've been a bit put off. Schopenhauer was my kind of favorite, but
Yeah, it made me
he
think.
loves Kant.
Yeah, okay.
He loves Kant. And I recently been reading a bit of Kant and watching videos that explain what the fuck he's talking about because and it's really, he's so fucked up and so bad. Like he's just such a idiot. Like
Chopin
really
guy.
Kant no Kant, not
Kant.
Schopenhauer loves Schopenhauer loves Kant though, and that's really getting on my nerve. Like I can't get away with the fact that how much I
Really?
despise Kant, and Schopenhauer really likes him. So I need to reread, I guess, Schopenhauer parts about Kant.
Yes,
What
maybe.
did you read Kant, or I know you read John Locke, but Kant?
Kant, I don't remember reading a specific book of his, but I was in he was deontologist, right? Like his morality with deontology. So I mean that showed up in like multiple classes, and then other stuff that one or two things I think about, like human rights or treaties or things like this he was writing. Maybe I heard about that, but yeah, that's what I know about him. Like that I really know that. I mean, yeah. That's all I've read about, then, yeah.
Well, I can tell you, he was a straight up cunt.
Were you waiting the whole time just for that?
Yes, I was.
Nice timing. You practiced your timing well. You were patient, just waiting for your moment.
I knew you're gonna add another "and," as usual it is with us. So
and
we can never end our examples.
Okay. All right, Sam. Before we have any viral moments, maybe that's the key. You have to announce it, and then it goes viral.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Before, I don't know if people know, but I was put off before our show because Camille was shitting on family. He was saying how fathers are pieces of shit. Grandpas never liked them. All of them.
That's hilarious. But okay, great stuff. We shall be back in a couple of days. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.